Hello, listeners. Welcome to another broadcast of The Unexplained World, a world for some of us, no explanation is needed, and for others, that is why we are here. With your hosts, Edward Shanahan, a psychic medium, paranormal explorer, and author, along with Annette, who is a pagan truth seeker. The Unexplained World is a location where the border between the natural and supernatural may become nothing more than fuzzy. So enjoy. Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to the Unexplained World with me, your host, Edward Shanahan, and my co host, who will be joining me by way of Zoom, Annette. You're viewing, well, listeners are listening to the regular show, but for the first time on YouTube, you're viewing a video podcast of the show. All right. I don't know if I'm going to provide the whole thing, but we had to decide on a new process for doing this. And the process originally was because we're on a new platform, Anchor, and the process was actually do interviews by way of the phone, but the phone wasn't working well. It would drop out. My listening would drop out on my end. I guess you could say not my listening, but what I was hearing. The caller would drop out. There you go. The guest. And so very, very frustrating. Saturday, me and Annette attempted to do it. It dropped out. And in the past, individuals said I should be using Zoom to possibly do some private readings that way. Okay, besides just the phone readings at this time during the coronavirus, I should attempt to use Zoom. I not a slow learner, not a slow learner, but I was comfortable. So until all this went down this way, and I decided, and that said, may want to try Zoom. And I decided, well, after all this time being suggested to me that I should, and the circumstances and needing to do the podcast, I decided to spend 3 to 4 hours researching Zoom and would it fit my needs. And it seems like it will. So, for the first time, viewers on YouTube are viewing this. Listeners, if you want to see what I and Annette look like, feel free to do it. And those that are seeking readings, this is highly possible, a possible way of doing this for you. So let's go to edwardshanahan.com. As I said, today our guest is Annette. She's joining us. She will be joining us now that we will be interviewing people this way. And if they have Zoom, hopefully they do. And if you're one that would like to be interviewed or on the podcast, feel free to contact me at edwardshanahan.com. Also, if you're interested in readings with things opening up here in the Chicagoland area next week, you could email me for personal readings, house parties, Zoom readings, private personal readings, and also phone readings. So just go to edwardshanahan.com and just look under, if you're interested in Zoom, just look under the phone readings at this time. Okay. Same price, same fee. You're paying for the time, not for anything that I offer. Okay. It's just for the time spent. So that's it. For those listening by way of the podcast, short information, commercial, brief, 30 seconds, and then to Annette. And I don't know yet. I don't know if I will be providing what I'm doing, what I started with the last podcast, And if you want to hear the audio podcast, let me say, look under, excuse me, when I bring up the list in my head, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor.fm, which this is being hosted by, Google Podcasts. So this is being hosted. This is our 11th year. This is being hosted by Anchor. The other podcast was hosted by Blog Talk, so make sure you get into the right broadcast that you want, okay? And that's 10 years of broadcasting there. So grow with us on Anchor. Follow us on whatever platform you're watching us or listening to us. And enjoy. Let me know how you like this. Let's go to edwardshanahan.com and message me from there. Or however, on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you decide to do. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all standing up, holding up to all this that's been going on with the virus. Follow the rules, be safe. You have free will. Some of you will decide to do what you're going to do. Fine and dandy. That's your will, and may you be blessed and stay healthy. Thank you. Enjoy this. And for those watching on the video, after the interview with Annette, because she's going to be talking about bouncing back, surviving, because a lot of people are losing their jobs during this. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And she's a survivor. I call her the bounce back queen, okay? As you hear her story, it's a motivation one for you listeners. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Blessed be. Enjoy the podcast. Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, viewers. Let's start over. Hello, listeners and viewers, because this is my first attempt at trying this for using it on Zoom. And we're also recording this. My guest right now is Annette. Now that we've discovered, or she told me about this, we are going to be having her participate more in the podcast and probably video podcasting too in the future with guests and stuff like that. Annette, I call you the bounce back queen. At this time with the coronavirus going on and that, a lot of people have lost their jobs nationwide and also in the Chicagoland area, your area and stuff like that. Depressing for many, for sure, because they don't know where they're going to go or what they're going to do. And a lot of times, some of these locations that were operating businesses, as you know, I used to collect bounce checks for a lot of businesses that use vendors to supply food and all that. And the fact is, a lot of them have one foot in the grave as it is. A lot of them use it as fun money, being their addictions. A lot of it was gambling. These small businesses and absentee owners. Okay, yeah. You had a business, you were always there.
Oh, you have to be 24/7. Otherwise, you can't make it.
Yeah, you told me you had to be there in the morning and you had to be there at night. I would like you, for the listeners, to go ahead and just tell them what they need to hear as far as being able to come back, bounce back, and stuff like that.
Okay, well, I would say you can call me the bounce back queen, but I don't know if sometimes if I am not bouncing back more than I am just moving to the next thing, accepting the defeat and applying myself towards a future. I like to think of it as the wind of change. When I had the business that you're talking about, I lost it not having to do anything with quarantining or any fault of my own. the lease was over, and the person who owned the building was different than the person who owned the building when I originally leased. And they saw that I was making a go of a good business in that building, and they wanted to do the same thing for themselves, capitalize on what I had started. So I said, well, I'll take it on the chin, I'll get my stuff, I'll get out of here. And then they sued me for taking my stuff, my belongings out of the building, even though I had a contract and a legitimate sale of purchase for the business. And somehow, for the life of me to this day, somehow they won and they got more money out of me. So not only did I lose the business and but then a large chunk of money as well. And when that whole thing was unfolding, I just took a crazy turn. And I said, I had gone through a loss of my husband in the middle of the whole thing. He died of cancer. And we had no children, but the thing I really wanted in the world was kids. So I just had to focus on losing money doesn't really mean anything in the big scheme of things. You lose, you gain, it comes, it goes. The universe, I always feel, is going to provide for me. I might not have a yacht, on the Atlantic Ocean, but I've got enough, a roof over my head, someone who cares, food on the table, enough. So I focused on getting through the money and the loss of the business and the loss of a loved one and tried to see something new. So it was my family, having kids, totally changed my direction. And you know what? It was good. I became a kinder and softer person again because the business I had been in had hardened me. And I was really angry for, losing that person in my life. And I had to come to terms with the anger and booze was involved because it was a tavern. So I really needed to make a giant change, and getting pregnant and having the hope and the joy of starting something brand new with a young family. That was what really, that's how I changed my focus on what was going on. So for people right now who are in the midst of losing a business or having to come to terms with the fact that it's probably going to go down the drain, in the big scheme of life, sure, it's money gone. Maybe you lose a car. Maybe you got to switch where you live. You just have to come to terms with what's next, it doesn't have to be a family. I always call that the death card, in the tarot, the death card tells us that some giant, the way things were yesterday, tomorrow, completely different. So you have to come to terms with right now that you're going to have to accept that change. And, I love when people say, oh, well, when one door opens, another one, or one door closes, another one opens. I used to tease my buddy, yeah, when one door closes, a window slams shut on your fingers, So you just go ahead and expect that, if you keep throwing yourself into the thinking, the constant mind churning of failure, negative, it's just going to keep on following you. So you have to, as hard as it is, is to cast off complete denial. When my teenagers are, oh, this is bothering us, I'm like, well, you're going to have to turn on the denial. You're going to have to pretend like it doesn't matter. And as hard as that is, you got to give it away to some, whether higher being, throw it to the universe, give it to the sky, dig a hole and scream it and bury. Whatever it is, you got to give it away so that you can start looking and deny the past and look to the future. Now, sometimes when I say deny the past, I don't mean don't learn anything from it. Of course, you have to remember the lessons and apply them to the future, to this great new thing that you're trying to build for yourself. And it's always baby steps, of course. The less pressure you put on yourself, the more favor the universe is going to give you. Try it. Oh, it's got to be, I'm going to open that new place and it's going to be better and bigger and I'm going to make twice as much money. Well, start by thinking, well, at least I'm going to open it. At least I'm going to start. Start with that. Oh, this month was okay. Next month could be better. And when it is and you can be surprised, awesome. Put too much on yourself, goal all the time. And you start to feel like you're not doing enough. So the comeback queen really is just the bounce forward. Always try to see the next picture. What do you think about that?
Sounds good. Sounds good. And that also can go for individuals who basically lost jobs and are looking for jobs. Okay. It may not happen right away. You may not be what you're accustomed to, pay-wise, insurance-wise, whatever. Also, I look at this as a good time for innovation. People start thinking of what you actually really want to do. Okay. And
we could
maybe
wind
go
up with
for
a lot happier employees, couldn't we? People who are doing what they want to do with their lives as opposed to what they think they had to do.
Oh, I totally say that if they had Medicare for all, you wouldn't believe the amount of small businesses that would pop up, okay,
Sure.
that people would give a shot at, because insurance is what's holding a lot of people back
That's right.
from
That's right.
taking that gamble, okay? They may have enough money saved in that, and they could say, yeah, I could do this, but I can't afford that $1,200 a month insurance bill on top of everything, or whatever it costs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good time for a lot of people, I believe, to even start a new start. But you have to be like Annette, also brave to do it, okay? She made changes. She went a whole different route. You went a whole different, blew my mind route, okay?
Yeah.
As far as what you're doing now compared to what you're doing. And, I've done some, I usually get bored after 20 years of doing something, so I find something else. And I think I may have found it by what we're doing right now with the Zoom, and see where it leads, because the mind is starting to think again. So I need the creativeness. If I don't have the creativeness, then I'm kind of bummed out, like what's happening. Annette, I want to thank you. This will be used for the podcast in the future. We'll try this for also future taping. And once I learn a little bit more about this, especially how to soften my looks on this side and zoom out, we'll give it a shot. But thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you for discussing this with me when we actually couldn't pull off the phone thing this morning, the interview. And
move to the next thing. See?
A new path. Yeah. Take
That's
a different
right.
path.
Wind of change. Fortune favors the brave, a wise man once said, and I totally believe that.
Good. You have a rest of a good holiday. This is Memorial Day weekend for those that may be listening to this later in time. And blessed be to all. Blessed be to you, Annette.
Blessed be.
I'm going to shut the recording off, but keep you still on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Annette. She opened herself up, explained, and hopefully help individuals listening to the interview. This segment is, excuse me while I look down, is a segment where I talk about two locations, haunted locations I've been to, give those in the Chicagoland area some places to check out if they're into it. You don't have to be a paranormal investigator. I call myself a paranormal explorer because I like to discover locations instead of going to the same old places, right, as it seems like many do. It's haunted. You got evidence from the past or however you do it. Why keep on going back? Get the same evidence? Who knows? But the two locations I want to talk about are St. James Cemetery, known as Monk's Castle. That's the first one. It's not the top of my five, but I did have an experience there. Those that have been going to it may take a walk. If you've been there 5, 6, 7 years ago, take a walk to the back. There's a headstone, big old headstone called Murphy. Everybody was kind of drawn to this place. Everybody kind of felt something there, a presence when they went there. It is gone. It's been removed. It used to be a black headstone there, but it is moved. It's gone. Maybe they moved it somewhere else. I don't know. At that location, I was with a few people. I had out there on a paranormal uh, exploring tour, if you want to call it that. And because I'm a feeler, I describe what's going on. I help people take pictures, etc., at these type of locations. And something walked through me. Something went through me. I almost went to my knees. Um, that's how bad it affected me. So there is something there. It's a spiritual place. It's a beautiful place. There's a lot of old headstones there. The reason it's called Monk's Castle is because even though there's no monks there living there, it's been reported that they've been seen at night. And I have to say that I know two individuals uh, that personally know them that were actually went there back in, they're older than me, and they went back there in late 60s, wandering around, exploring, doing whatever teenagers do with the paranormal locations. Yes, they trespassed for sure, but they got caught. They got caught by individuals dressed as monks, and they held them in the building. Um, there's a couple buildings there, 1, 2, 3, I believe, buildings there. They held them in one of them. They made them call their father when the sun came up. And after they put the call through for dad to come pick them up, the so-called monks walked individuals out to roadside of Archer Avenue, where they waited for their father to come get them. That's the story. That's what I've been told. And knowing the two individuals, the look in her eye when they discussed it, yeah, it's highly possible. The other location, the old Willow Mall. I went up there recently, back in February, March, when it was decent out warm. And you got to go up the stairs, you got to go to the top area, third floor, basically outside. It's an outside mall, strip mall. Well, you're calling it a strip mall, but where you're not indoors. It's a mall, but it's outdoors for you to get around. And the top level is where the activity is going on, besides the coffee house. And I first learned about 15, 17, 18 years ago by the original owners of the coffee house, Deanna and John, that there was activity up there. Well, I was just there, like I said, this year. And I'm not shy. I'm shy doing this. Yeah, definitely shy doing this. But I'm not shy to ask people questions. I used to be a private investigator. So I knocked on one of the, seen a bunch of young bloods in there, people 20, 30 years old. So I asked the questions. Hey, you guys, any activity up here? I hear it's kind of haunted, without telling them who I am. Well, yeah, there's still a lot of activity. And the men were telling me things going on. So that area, right, that's another place to explore, to discover. One of the places that, and the woods, I'm not even going to talk about that yet. That was a whole different experience. So those are the locations I'm talking about in this segment, this podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And we will follow up with my commentary. Thank you. Hi, this is the commentary segment with me, Edward Shanahan. You find me as Edward Shanahan doing a search on the internet. I decided to make it, this is a new learning process for me. I'm going to have to get some diffuser light. That's why you may see the lighting looking a little strange. No problem. But it's a new adventure. It's one that we enjoy. So the commentary is things start getting stale with life, with living. Start a new adventure. Start a new hobby. Expand what you're doing. Expand your interests. There's so much. And I admit, my mind was spinning for the simple fact I was getting bored. And I've been known to different things I have run and done and created that once I start getting bored, even if it's super successful, I'm bored. Time is running out. Time has run out on it then. And then I do shut it down or have shut it down. So all the circumstances that went behind the scenes, being told, hey, you should do Zoom, being planted in my head, Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Then Saturday, the whole, frustration part. This sucks because of my phone. I'm not spending $700 for a phone just to do podcasts. Okay, when I know there's got to be another way. So don't doubt yourself. Do it. All you can do is fail and not work out. And then you never fail. You never fail if you try a different way. I could have walked away and said, I'm done with doing the podcast, but nah. I enjoy doing it. I took it up in school, radio and TV, broadcasting, management. I even went to Comcast, took the whole course on producing TV shows. Okay. And was involved in two of them. One of them was the Unexplained World that I hosted. Back then, 10 years ago, there was still a lot of righteous, religious people that sure did complain about the Unexplained World being on TV. Yeah, I was there before the paranormal shows were there. But guess what? Things have changed. The shows are there. And I still love doing production, editing, and all that stuff. And that's why I'm here. And like I said, I will work this lighting thing out for the better, for the viewers, for the listeners. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, I should say. And for those on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, contact me at edwardshanahan.com if you want to give me some feedback, if you're interested in readings, etc., etc. By possibly way of Zoom, I still have not confirmed that I will do it, but I'm getting comfortable doing this. So we could do it different ways: phone, in person if you're in the Chicagoland area, house parties. Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois. Actually, Wisconsin is closer than some places in Illinois, so it's Indiana. Have a great time ahead of you. Be safe, be smart, and enjoy. You do have free will, but don't step on those by taking advantage of that free will. Thank you.